Hey friends, it's Amanda with Pear Blossom Press, and I'm live today. I want to play with some Catherine Pooler stamps and some easy lights. So if you're not familiar with easy lights, they're a quick and easy way to make light up cards, and that's what I'm going to do today. So I've gone ahead and I have stamped out this really pretty little cake. This stamp set is called This Calls for Cake. You'll notice that it does not have candles, and I wanted to turn it into a birthday cake. So I've just gone ahead and grabbed my Copic multiliner. 0.3 is the right size, and I just kind of drew it in. Don't worry about it. If you'll notice, the lines in the stamp set, they're a little whimsical, so you don't have to be perfect. And when we're all done, nobody's going to notice that it's not actually part of the stamp. So I'm not die cutting it because I added candles, and actually I want to just make the candles glow from the backside and have just one piece here. And you can see that I've already die cut it with a stitched rectangle die, slimline. This is going to be slimline card. And I've got my slimline base already prepped out. I've got another piece to go underneath it because this is two different colors of white. I'm not sure if you can see that there. Hey, Cal, will you turn on the overhead lights, please? So I want to kind of hide the difference between the two. So I'm going to use a Fiesta Blue ink, and I will just color the whole back of this panel, and then you'll never notice because it'll layer on top, and you won't notice that the whites don't match. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to Copic color. You can watercolor, and the inks from Catherine Pooler are fantastic. You can always just do that old trick where you squeeze a little bit, put some ink in the lid, and pick it up with a watercolor brush. But I'm not so great at watercolor. I like my Copics, so I've gone ahead and pulled some Copics out here, and I'm going to go ahead and color. Hi, everyone. I see people are stopping in. Hey, Sherry. I got your email this morning. I'll reply later. So I'm going to just go ahead and start Copic coloring here. And I like this Fiesta Blue, so I'm going to make that my background. In fact, actually, maybe I'll do that first so it can dry, because that ink needs to dry a little bit. Let me grab, got my little clipboard here. This is the Ranger Craft Mat, and I've got it on a clipboard. That's just a tip I got from Mary Polanco a long time ago. It's a fantastic idea. It's genius even. And I love it. So I keep my Ranger mat on the clipboard. It's nice and stiff. It's easy to wipe down. You can see I've got random pieces of tape on it because I use it for other things, and I reuse the tape until it dies. So now I don't have ink all over my desk. And this is just going to sit here and dry, and that ink will even out. And if I need to give it a second coat, I will. So I'll set this off to the side. And now let's do some Copic coloring. Hey, Berta. Oh, I forgot to tell Rachel that I was going live so she'd share it. If you guys don't mind dropping a link somewhere in Facebook, that would be great. Maybe on the Interactive Cards group. So I'm going to grab this FBG2. Is a very similar color to the Fiesta Blue. And it's just a really pretty color, so I want to kind of use that. I'm going to start in just some of my shadowy areas behind the flowers. I do have a darker blue that I'll put into the nooks and crannies. And you can see, I should really take the lid off the other end. This, when you take the lid off both ends, that'll give you a little less ink flow, so you can get a finer point. Hope you guys can hear me okay. We've got the craft room almost completely done out here, which is super exciting. The floors went in yesterday, and the countertops. I actually used the same type of flooring for my countertops because it's not a kitchen, it's a craft room. And It's a real nice, like a laminate, but it looks like wood. Feels much softer though because we're on a concrete base. So it's kind of hard to stand out here all day. But the new laminate has a nice underlayment that helps, and it looks really good on the counters. So in fact, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Heather from the Rabbit Hole Designs. She's also Heather from Ferguson Flooring out here in the Inland Empire in Southern California. And her stepson, Chase, came out and installed my floors and my countertops. He said he's never done flooring on countertops before, but he was really happy with it too. He's like, this is really cool. So I'll give you guys a tour as soon as we get everything else done. It still needs trim, baseboards, and my sink. Sink will go in shortly. My plumber was out of town for a couple days. So I was like, no, we're so close to done. Get back here. So, all right. So I kind of went in initially with the color that I want to use the most of. And I'm going to, actually, I want the cake to mostly be white, but I'm going to just kind of soften it out a bit. So this is my BG01. This is kind of like the next color. And I'll just kind of blend it out a little bit here. Are you guys having a great Saturday? Getting ready for Father's Day? Anybody have family plans for Father's Day? Thanks, Berta. Kelly's here with me, although she just skedaddled out. She was going to help me read comments. I was not. But now she isn't. Micah isn't home yet. He had to work today. Otherwise, he'd be here. Are you guys excited? Did you see he's going to be live with Corin? Well, actually with Tim and Tom Krupski, Mr. Gina K, and Daniel West. Next Saturday. It's going to be Saturday the 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Corin's channel. So set your alarms. It's going to be fun. Last year was a lot of fun. This year will be even more fun, I think. 4-way challenge between the dads. I'm the B000, and this is actually going to dry back a lot softer than what you're seeing it go down as because it's wet. It's wetting the paper. So once it dries, it will soften up even more. And I'm just kind of filling in a little bit here and there, just laying down a little more color. And you see that's kind of scribbly there, but that's okay. As it dries, it's going to lighten up, and then I can come back in with my blender pen and soften it a little bit more, because I want to leave a bunch of negative space there just so it's like a bright highlight there. And I have a darker B05 that I just want to put into some of the nooks and crannies. You can do this with color pencils if you want, especially if you're nervous about not getting, or about getting too big of a line. But it's just gonna deepen up these shadows a little bit more and really kind of bring it to life, make things pop. And I'm not going crazy with it, just a little here and there. All right, let's see here. I need somebody to read comments for me. Kelly's asking me a question. I have no idea what she asked, so my answer is I don't know. Do you want to come read comments for me? Oh, you want to play the guitar? Okay, so she came in yesterday. She's been taking guitar classes, and she came in yesterday, and she started playing. She just started strumming, and immediately I knew it was Nirvana. So she's getting pretty good, guys. She's going to be a little rock star. Oops, and I think I keep banging my head under the camera. Sorry if it jiggles. Okay, So I like this so far. See the blue here? Wow, on camera it looks even better than in person. Let me grab my zero marker, the blender, and I'm gonna soften this up a little bit more. Oh, my zeros. You can read it out loud. Okay, this one's a little dry. Let me see my other one. I have another one. Oh yeah, this one's wet. And I just kind of want to soften it up a little bit. Wow, it really looks way better on camera than in person. At least on my screen. All right, let's let that dry a little. Oh, Kelly says I have excellent lighting, that's why. All right, so I'm gonna grab some greens. I've got just a handful of them. My YG11 is the lightest, YG03, and then I've got YG06 and YG07. Those two are pretty similar, but they're good for nooks and crannies. And the YG07 is a little darker. And incidentally, I've started using the Copic Express, I think it's the Express It White paper, which I had read somewhere, and I've heard from time to time people that are really good with coloring, that they use good paper, you know. And I have reams of white cardstock. That's pretty nice paper, so I always just kind of blew it off. But then I was reading that you'll also save ink because it sits on top a little bit and it allows you to blend a little more. So I bit the bullet, and on Amazon it's like $40 for a pack of the Express It paper, but it's a big pack. I mean, I want to say it's like 100 sheets or more. And I wasn't sure if I'd like it, but I do. I do like it. I definitely can blend a little more. I wouldn't say, if you're not Copic coloring all the time, I wouldn't necessarily buy it. But if you are Copic coloring a lot, I like it. I may not use all of these greens. I may just use two. I want a bigger jump between my colors here because these are such small leaves. You can see it's kind of, I think I'm going to need a darker green for the rest of this. Kelly, you want to grab me like a G17 or 16 or something that looks like a dark green? The rest of my Copics are all behind me. You guys, I am having so much fun organizing the craft room. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I definitely need a darker green here. I did upgrade my storage a little bit. Yeah, it's, I think it's, they don't put the E in front of it. I think it's an X hyphen press it or something like that. I'll find a link and drop it in here afterwards. I can always email it to you, Sherry. All right, let's see. Okay. Just pointing to the screen doesn't actually help me. No. My comment reader just, she just points to the screen and then walks away. She's so helpful. Yeah, definitely, Barbara. I was surprised. I didn't necessarily want to buy into it, especially with the cost. But now that I've been playing with it more, I can see the difference. I was kind of thinking about coloring this ahead of time, and then I thought, well, that would be kind of boring. But then maybe it's boring to watch me color. Sorry. I did stamp ahead of time, save a little bit of time there. And then I also stamped some little cameras from another set that's Catherine's. Oh yeah, that looks better. Okay, so you see we've got way more color difference there. And so that's with really, I went right on top of the I think I have YG07 that I started with. So you can see that big jump in the colors here. when you have small spaces, if you don't use a big jump, you won't see the color difference. It's just not enough room for it to move around, and your eye will do the blending for you. If it looks a little weird, you can always come back in with that lighter color and flick from the dark up, and that will blend it a little bit more. But I don't think you really need to in most of these cases. See that? Just kind of softens it, but otherwise you won't see the difference without that big color jump there. Okay, so let's color up some flowers real quick. Hopefully I picked colors with a big enough jump there. I just grabbed a handful and put them in my handy dandy little collapsible marker bag. You guys can find those on our website. I love these bags, I really do. Okay, so let's give us some yellow and some pink flowers, I think. I'm gonna do pink, and pink and pink. So yellow, maybe the yellow roses and the rest pink. How about that? All right, so I'm gonna put just a darker color in some of the spots here. With yellows, it's funny. Even in a big area, with yellows, you can have a big jump in colors and it'll blend nicely just because yellows, it's kind of hard to see the difference anyhow, at least with my eyes. My eyes are getting old. All right, so I'm just gonna add a little bit here and there, and I'm being sloppy. This image almost looks, I mean, really it lends itself to watercolor. If I were better at watercoloring, that's how I would color it. But I can get sort of a sloppy, not sloppy, a loose look with my Copics here that's a little more controlled than I can get with watercolor. Plus then I don't have to wait for it to dry. And I am gonna be sure to leave white spots on the tips of my petals, just so that I have those highlights. And I'll probably come back in with a white gel pen too, just to give a few like dots and a few more accents, highlights. It's hard to think and color at the same time. All right, let's see, maybe a darker line there. And down here might be a little more color because it's kind of in the shadows. Less highlights in the shadow areas, right? All right, I think that looks okay. And then let's do some pinks. Okay, I hope I grabbed the right pink. I grabbed RV00 and RV23. The 23 and the 21 are almost identical, and I can't remember which one of mine is gummed up. Let's start with the darker. We'll see. It's either going to be the 23, and I'll grab the 21, or not. Oh yeah, no, this one's okay. Somehow, I don't know what I did, but I gummed up. The tip must be of my 21. And I saw a really good idea. Teresa, I'm drawing a blank on Teresa's last name. She's in Handmade Happiness. She has a little cup that she puts them into when her Copics go dry. Like she just pulls them out and keeps them separate until they're refilled or prepped and happy to go again. And that is a great idea. I need to do that. So that I do have a few that are needing to be refilled, and a couple tips. I did get new tips, but I haven't actually, I couldn't remember which ones needed it. So, okay, so I'm gonna come in with the lighter color. This is the RV00. Now this one is also, it's gonna dry back a little bit lighter because it's, when you get down into the zeros and double zeros, there's a lot of the blending solution in it. So it's gonna go on a little wet and look darker. Oh, I missed a leaf. And then it will dry back to almost white. Oh, I missed another leaf. Look at that. That's why I pre-color off camera. Oh, I missed a whole family. Well, you know, that's how it goes, right? All right. close enough here. And let's grab those greens again. So my dad is driving over from Arizona. In fact, he should be here anytime. He's coming in for Father's Day. My house is a mess. We've emptied out everything in this craft room just to, redo everything in here. And I've just started bringing everything back in. And I'm trying to be very judicious about what comes in. I don't want to bring in a bunch of stuff that I haven't touched in 20 years. So I'm being careful about what I bring back in, and that means it's taking longer. Plus my floors and countertops just finished yesterday. I saw some little spots where I missed it with the dark blue also. Maybe just the one spot. Of course, now I can't find it again, right? Okay, that's good. And I think I'm gonna color that little heart pink. Maybe I should color this dark pink too. So have you guys all played with Easy Lights before? Are they new, or is this first time for you? Not that we're actually at the Easy Lights yet. Let's add some flames. And what color should I color the candles? I want to add stripes so they look like birthday candles. What do you think? Blue? Blue stripes? I think blue. Let's go with our... I suppose I should have waited the 30-second delay for you guys to answer, huh? But blue it is. All right, there we go. Looks like I missed a leg on here. There we go. Okay, and now I want my pedestal to be white. So I've got some C markers. These are the cool grays. I've got a 4, a 2, and a 0. And I can also use my blender if I need to. Oh, sorry, Berta. But I want the blue to match my background and everything else. So I'm thinking I'll bring in more of that blue. So adding some shadows here. I hope watching me color isn't too boring. I'm not an expert by any means, but I have been practicing a whole lot. I've actually been practicing mostly with my no line coloring, which I really, really like. And once I found Gina K's Warm Glow ink, it was on. I've tried a couple other colors, and I've even tried her Whisper. They're too light. I can't see them. Especially, I mean, you can see the outline, but once you get into the details and stuff, it is hard to see. So that Warm Glow, that is the way to go for if you have bad eyes. Okay, now my C2. So C4, some C2. If I make a mistake, it's no big deal because I can just push it back with my blender pen. And honestly, I think I'm gonna just do a little bit here to these guys. I'm not really sure how to color those scallops. Where's Daniel West when we need him, right? He's so good at figuring out where to put all that stuff. But I'm sorry, Daniel, Micah's still gonna win. All right, C0, just to soften this up a little bit more on camera. I'm sure it probably looks fine, but in person it's a little rough at the edges, so I'm gonna soften it. And then I'll probably come back in with my 0 too. Oh, I've had that happen. Sherry, I think you just need to replace your tips. When they get older or if something happens, I've just had like my GO5 got all gooey, and I bought a refill. I thought it had just dried out, and I bought a refill, and I refilled it, and the tip was still really gooey. And so I asked Jamie from Sweet Sentiment, and she said just change out the tip. So I did that, and she was right. And I grabbed my wrong blender pen. Let's grab the wet one. So if you have the gooey ones, you can buy the replacement nibs. It's a couple dollars for a pack of 3 or 4. And I have found if you're looking for refills and markers between Sweet Sentiment and I think it's Violetta ink, the prices are really good and you can find all of the colors. Yeah, I don't know what causes it, Roberta. I didn't realize that it was separating or what. I know on one of my yellow markers, I had accidentally, I decided I had put down my white highlights with a gel pen, and then I came back in because I decided I wanted to change it up a little bit with my Copic marker, and that really messed up the tip of my marker. So don't color Copic on top of gel pen. It's not going to go well. Okay, so what do you think? Pretty, huh? I like it, and I'm gonna keep it clean and simple. I might do some like blue dots across the edges. Let's see, this is dry, mostly dry here. Something like that. I think that'll be pretty. And then I want to use, I think the Let's Celebrate sentiment. I think I'm going to stamp that in blue too so that it coordinates. And then I can have some like blue splattery looking stuff there. And I want to add our lights. So, okay, so let's pull out lights. I have, so this is one of my easy lights that we make. And actually this is one of my seconds. The nice thing about owning the company is that you get to play with the seconds. You can see the button is a little crooked. I don't know what happened. When he was in the machine, he must have tilted a little bit. But it still works. See, look. Just slid the battery in. If you haven't seen these before, we sell them in packs of 2, 3, 5, and even 20. And they come with the batteries. So you slide the battery in. It only goes in one way. See that little crescent shape there? That's the way that it goes in. And it'll stop. It won't go any further there. I've had a few people email me and say that the battery won't go in, and after troubleshooting with them, we realized that they were putting it in from the wrong end. So it goes in one end, press the button, and you have 3 lights. Let me see. 3 different lights here. They are on wires. The wires are 7 inches long, so you can put them anywhere you want them on the page. Oops. I'm fighting with it. But you can kind of spread them out all over the place. So if you have like a starry night sky or wherever, I'm going to put all 3 of mine here. And I want to stamp press. I think I want to put my button right in here so that I can also put it down here. Maybe that makes more sense. What do you guys think? Should I put the push here up into the cake or down here? Thanks, Barbara. Okay, so there's a couple different options here too. So I don't carry the Lawn Fawn in the shop, but this set is a great set. They have lots of push and pull. Bigger pieces, like bigger stamps, I guess is what I'm looking for. And sometimes I actually use these and I will emboss it like white on white so that you can see it. If you look at it, the light catches it, but otherwise it kind of doesn't show. So I like this set for doing that. It's a great set. I do carry in the shop Heffy Doodles set. This is the Interactively Yours. And so we've got a couple little tiny push here, press me, a lot of different ones. And then you have arrows and things like that, which I really like. This set, a lot of these words are too small to emboss, but they are great if you want to just kind of nestle it in. And I think I'm going to use this set here. We also carry from TLC Designs. We've got the action stamp set. If you have her, what is it, double dial die set, which is really cool. These arrows work perfectly for that. And then you've got like push and pull. And My Favorite Things has the interactive labels. We carry this as well. So we've got a push and press and a lot of different ones here. So if you are going to make light up cards, you might want a stamp set like that. But what did we say? Down below? Diane says down below. All right. So I'm going to grab the little push. I'll line it up. Need my Misty. I'm going to show you a trick for small, tiny little words where you don't want to press too hard. So I've got my Misty here. And I will line this guy up. The nice thing is I have used the stamp so many times that it doesn't stick to my fingers anymore. You know how new stamps always stick to your fingers, especially the tiny ones? All right, so I'll grab that. And let's do it in Fiesta Blue. We're gonna live life on the edge. So I am being very gentle about tapping the ink onto, oh, I guess you couldn't see that. I'm zoomed in. Okay, so here's the real trick. I don't have a ton of ink everywhere. I have a little bit. And I'm going to press down, and I'm just lightly tapping on it. See that? And now you can read it perfectly. If you press too hard, even in a Misty, it will smush and be hard to read. But that's how you can do the little light pressure on your sentiments there. Oh, I like that. Let's go ahead and do the sentiment while we're at it. I think I'm going to do that in the Fiesta Blue as well. Let's celebrate. My niece is about to have a baby, so I'm going to make her a baby card, which I think this stamp set would be very pretty for as well, but I have a different set in mind for that. Have you guys seen the new release from Scrappy Tales? She's got a storybook box that is so cute. And for the baby shower, they're doing a princess theme, so I thought a little princess book would be nice. Okay, so let's get this lined up. And I can't ever tell if it's lined up until I put it in the Misty. Yeah, it looks close enough, right? I think that works. Okay. Again, I'm not smushing really hard. Catherine's ink pads are awesome, but they're pretty soft. So if you push too hard, you'll have ink everywhere. They do tend to stain, like a lot of the dye-based inks, and that's fine. It doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, you might want to try some of the specialty ink removers or even rubbing alcohol, but I never worry about it. Okay. Oh. Check this out. Trudy Newman sent me this. Isn't this cool? She calls it her Numinator. So this is a much bigger stamp set. I can add a little more pressure. Ah! I moved it. Well, how about that? All right. That's okay. We'll fix it with a sentiment strip later. So what a bummer, right? Oh well. It happens. I'll put a sentiment strip right on top and it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and add our lights. Okay, so back to the easy lights here. If you haven't played with them before, they are really easy. That's why we call them easy lights. I wanted to stamp push here first so that I would know where to position the button on the back side, not on the front. And I know obviously where I want to put the 3 lights. So I am going to grab a little pokey tool and I'm just going to poke through right at the base of each flame. You see that? I've got a hole right there for each one. It happens, right, Diane? Hey, Tara, how are you doing? Okay, so my holes are here, and I know that it's right underneath there for my button. So I am going to take some strong double stick tape. We've actually been trying out some of the Easy Lights with adhesive on the back, and I asked everybody who got them to let me know if they really liked it or not. Because the other thing is some people put the button, you want to attach this way or that way, and either way works just fine. In fact, I will do it that way. But I didn't really hear back from a lot of people. So for now, they're going to stay without the adhesive on the back. But if you guys like the idea of adhesive on the back, then do let me know. Okay, so I'm adding a little more adhesive right on top of the battery holder here. And you can see our lights all light up. So there's no circuit building. It's just a matter of taping it down and covering it up and getting the release paper to release. So I'm going to line it up so that, remember, you can see the bottom of my heart here. I know that the little button is right underneath that. So I'm lining it up. Yep, works. And then now, oh, I forgot Scotch tape. Hey, Kel, go grab, oh, wait, I think I have some right here. Yeah, oh, I do. Good thing I was organizing and needed Scotch tape out here. So I'm going to grab my Scotch tape. You can use washi, doesn't matter, whatever you've got. And okay, so check out the lights. There is the, let's see if we can, this is the back side. So you see the wires there? And if you turn it over, there's a yellow dot. That's harder to see. See the yellow dot? And then flip it over, the wires. The wire is the back side. Now when you press the button, it kind of glows everywhere, but it glows much brighter from the front. So I try to line it up so that my yellow dot is going through the hole. And then a little piece of Scotch tape holds it in place. Same thing for the other three. Don't let the wires scare you. They're really there to help you so that you can position your lights wherever you want them. But they're, you know, just pretend they're ribbon. Hello. Hey, Dad. Oh, she's like, hi, Pop. My dad's here. Dad, come in and say hi to all my crafty friends. They can't see you. They can only hear you. You can't hear me. All right, so my three lights are in place. And now when I flip it over, can you see that? Okay, so now we've got all this wire. Remember I said don't worry about it? Don't worry about it. All we're going to do is just kind of curl it up. And I'm not trying to put any sharp bends in place, but it's okay, go ahead. And then just tape it down. Okay, you're fine. Okay, so it looks a little less messy, and honestly, it doesn't matter. Nobody's ever going to see that. That's just to kind of, just to keep your stuff in place. All right, lights are in place. So now we can stick it to our card front here, but we have that thickness to deal with. You see that? And that is the thickness of double thick foam tape. So you're probably familiar with single thickness foam tape, but we have double thick foam tape in the shop. This is from Happy Doodle, and it comes in a couple different widths. Oops. So I've got narrow and I've got thicker. And then we also have new in the shop. This is crystal clear foam tape. It does have a red release paper, but the tape itself is crystal clear. So once you pull off the release paper, which it's a plastic film, so it's a little hard here. Let me trim off a bit and I'll show you. kind of the clear foam is kind of like a gummy bear. You see that? It's super clear. And if I hadn't just put fingerprints on it, it'd be like totally clear. But it's really nice. You can put vellum on top of it, and the light will just shine all the way through. Kelly wants to feel it. It's kind of gummy, kind of squishy, she says. But light comes right through it. I'm not sticking it down, but you can see right through there. And it also kind of helps spread it out a little bit. So it's really neat. The downside to the crystal clear foam tape is that it's kind of heavy. This roll weighs like 15 ounces. So if you order a roll of this and anything else, if it pushes you up to 16 ounces, that automatically pushes you into the priority mail shipping rate, which kind of sucks. So you can, like, a lot of times it's cheaper to just place an order for that separately. And if you want like one other thing, just send me an email first and I'll try to weigh it and see if we can make it work for you to get under the 16 ounces. And I did have a couple orders come in over the weekend. So if you ordered and you're watching, I will see if I can get it lesser, get the weight down for you so that I can refund your shipping. But for this card, I don't need the crystal clear. Oh, awesome, Berta. Kelly's gonna just whisper the comments in my ear. For this card, I'm gonna use just the white double thick foam tape because I don't need the clear. And look at that, that one was like perfect. A lot of times I cut off more than I need and eyeball it this way. Okay, so get this here. You don't have to go crazy with the foam tape, but I do like a few pieces to support here and there. And this card is going to be hand delivered. She's also holding her guitar, Berta. She's kind of strumming in the background. You should watch some of Gina K's videos with me. Her husband, Tom, a lot of times will come in and he'll play the guitar. He's in the Dad Challenge, too. Maybe we could get the guys to all play. Does Tim play an instrument? Micah plays bass. Gina could sing.
I don't know where the amp went. I was looking because this sounds like played on bass because my guitar doesn't go well. But
okay.
I don't know where it is.
All right, so I've got some foam kind of here and there. For the most part, it'll be supported. If I were going to mail this, what I would do is, you're right. Okay, what I would do is I would stick a little paper tab underneath the battery, and I would make sure that I don't pull off the release paper for my foam tape so the tab could stick out, the release paper for the foam tape wouldn't grab it, and then when the recipient can pull it out. I have lots of videos on that, so you can check that out. But this one is going to be hand delivered. So I'm just going to pull up. Oh man, I should have done this ahead of time for you guys. Sorry. The never ending pulling up release paper part. If you're watching on the replay, you're going to want to like skip ahead 20 seconds. And then if you want, you can add glue on top of your foam tape so that you have the wiggle room. I never do, and half the time I get it wrong, but you know, it is what it is. I'm going to go for it today since I've already ruined the sentiment on the front of the card. Okay. Oops. Normally I stick over it, but there's a camera in the way. Close enough, right? Okay, somewhere I have card base, and I will stick that down, and then I'm going to show you how to really make those lights glow, because we don't want just little lights at the bottom. We want the whole candle flame to glow, right? Hey, Sherry, you were asking me about how much adhesive we actually put on the back of our cards. This is how I do it. I kind of do the edges a little thicker. And then I squiggle it everywhere. All right. And this one should be the same size. If I'm cutting a card base and a card front to go on top, I try to cut the card front like a hair bigger. And then that way I have room all the way around. This one is exactly the same size, so close enough. Okay, so here we go, almost done. Now, here's the cool thing. So these are little raindrops. They're clear raindrops from HAI. We have them in the shop too. And let me put the lid on my glue before it dries out. I do like PVA glue in a fine line bottle. It's very nice, but you have to put that lid on right away. And then I have one of my cute little trays from Twiddler's Nook. Did you see? She has, Amanda just announced today, she has one of these guys in her shop. So cool. So she also has all of these really cool little trays. And I have a really cute one from Rabbit Hole Designs too. It's got a bunny inside. You know me and rabbits. Okay, so do you see how these fit right on top of the lights? They're like, I swear I didn't trace them. I just drew a little teardrop shape. And it doesn't matter if you're off a little bit, it'll be fine. Now, the PVA glue is great for paper to paper, but it's not great for plastic. So I'm using Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. Any of your plastics, you can see how. Sorry, I should show you this. See how it's going to light up the whole thing? Oh, wow. We're kind of overblown. But you'll even be able to see it through here. Kelly, you have to talk out loud or scooch away. Not in my ear. All right. So read it to me, please. Oops. There we go. Lids for this too. Look at the little cradle. This is from Make It by Marco. It's perfect. So handy. Okay, so I've got my little teardrops. That glue will dry clear, but even lit up, you can see through it. It's kind of cool, huh? So I didn't have to put vellum behind it or anything. I just went ahead and used gems to really make that light spread out. If you don't want to use gems, you could always cut out the teardrop shape. And I know I have at least one birthday set from Avriel that has, I think it's a unicorn set, sorry. And it has a teardrop in there, which I use to cut out from time to time, the top of my candles. And then I can put vellum on the back side and put the lights down on the bottom of the card front and elevate the card itself so that the light has more room to spread out and it'll come right through the vellum. But this is faster and easier. I really like lighting up gems. All right, what do you guys think? I'll fix that sentiment, but since my dad just got here and we've been on for about an hour, I am going to fix it later and post a card later. Does that sound okay? You guys know how I'll do that, right? Just use a little dye. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining me. If you have not hopped along with us, we are collaborating with Catherine Pooler. There's a blog hop going on now, and I've been so lucky. You guys, Mona Toth guest designed for us on the blog. So when you head over to Pear Blossom Press, hit the blog, and you'll see Mona's card. It is gorgeous. And then you can hop along. We have like a dozen of the greatest designers who decided to play with us, which is super awesome. And we're very lucky. So hop along, and there's prizes too. So you've got like, I think, a week to leave comments for prizes. So thanks so much, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys. Happy Father's Day to everybody who's going to celebrate with their families this weekend. All right.